So with the daily part of the Great Spook event pretty much over with, we've gotten the second half of the event, the Vargle part. And honestly, I think it's pretty interesting, although it does suffer from a couple problems. My name is Derailious, welcome back to Skyblock News, and let's launch right into it. Starting off, we can head to Vargle, who is actually located right by, well, the unincorporated area. You can see the wizard tower in the background. There's this giant gravestone. If you miss it, that's on you. Clicking on Vargle here, we can see 6 milestones. The first one gives you a scare fragment, 50 expired pumpkins, and 3 green candy, requiring you to collect 10 dark candy. Number 2 is for 50, it gives you 3 scare fragments, 200 expired pumpkins, and 5 green candy. Then we have tier 3 at 100, gives you 4 scare fragments, 250 expired pumpkins, and 8 green candy. Then we have the black woolen yarn at 200, as well as 500 pumpkins and 10 candy. And then we have the Sleepy Hollow at 400, as well as 1,000 pumpkins and 20 candy. And shockingly, we have the Great Spook Tree at 600, 1,000 expired pumpkins yet again, and the biggest part of it all, 5 purple candy. You can actually use the scare fragments here to create an upgrade for the Intimidation Talisman. It goes from an artifact to a relic. It also increases its rarity, which is good for Skyblock XP. So obviously you're going to want to max this stuff out. Apparently also you can get an upgrade for the Black Cat here. The Mythic Black Cat actually allows you to collect more collections from mobs. So if you get a mob kill, you'll get 15% more from that mob in terms of collections, which is pretty nice to see. The tier 5 one apparently gives you some bonus farming fortune for pumpkins. Not 100% certain about that, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. And tier 6 gives you a tree, which gives you fruit. Some people were trying to connect this to the foraging update, but I am uncertain about that, to say the least. I think it's just a funny little addition. So there are more than a few questions of how do I actually get the dark candies, and the answer is you have to spawn the Primal fears. In order to do so, you need fear. In order to get fear, you need to do the Great Spook experiments, which many people have made many guides on. You get the armor, you get the belt, cloak, necklace, and gloves, you get the talisman, the artifact, you get a bunch of the other stuff here, you get some of the potions, and yada yada. I don't really want to go into all of this. There's so many things listed here. I made a guide on everything up here, and I wanted to make a guide on the rest of it, but man, is it just mildly annoying to get all of these done. Just watch a guide, get it done, and once you're done with that, you can get a bunch of fear. But if you want to be the most efficient you can be, generally, you're going to want to have an Eerie Pet on. You're going to want to make sure you have the potion already set up. You're going to want to make sure that you don't actually have the armor set on because you have the Eerie Pet on, but you do want to have the Greater Spook set here, which you can get by actually applying the Reforge to the set and also giving it Great Spook 1, which gives it an extra fear, so that's 7 each. Then you're going to want to make sure you have all of the items here on, and then you can also go into your accessory bag and make sure you have the Great Spook artifact item. It's too much for me to look for it, but I do have it somewhere in here. I don't know where it actually is, but yeah. Anyway, once you get the majority of the fear that you need, whenever you go around and kill a mob, you'll have a chance to spawn this Primal Fear, and there's a bunch of different variations. Generally, they just require you to do small, silly, goofy little things, and then you'll get a couple dark candy. Although one of them, in specific, the Commitment one, gives you 3 dark candy for no reason at all. I haven't noticed that, like, looting gives you bonus drops or anything like that. I also haven't noticed there being a specific chance based on the amount of kills you get, but there is a cooldown. Seems to be about 3 minutes per mob. Haven't gotten any of them, really, within about 3 minutes. People were saying it's 5. It's clearly less than that because on stream we tested it, and they spawned within around 3.5 minutes of each other. It could be 3 minutes and 30 seconds for all we know, but I think 3 minutes is a pretty good limit to go for here. In terms of places to grind, I actually kind of recommend the Spider's Den. Obviously, there are places that are probably better than this, but I wasn't really able to think of too many. I don't think this is really that bad. A lot of people were saying in my chat that this wasn't really the best place, and if you know of a place that's better, you know, go for it. Obviously, I just spawned one, so I'm going to showcase fighting one here. Let me just kill off this guy real quick. You just beat him up with like whatever you have, and then they die, and then you get one of the 2 dark candy, or one of the 3, and then there's a mob which has another effect, so this is Deadline, and now I have to stand still for 7 seconds. He's beating me up. Make sure you apply a Shelmet to your Eerie Pet, by the way. This just makes it so much easier, and then you can kill him once the curse is lifted. You get your second dark candy, and then you move on. But you'll notice as I keep killing mobs for a little bit here, I'm not going to actually get any more spawned. That is because of the cooldown. You can't spawn another after killing one for a few minutes, and I think that that's a little bit much. If you miss one also, it seems like it triggers the cooldown, which isn't too great. I had some issues with that earlier. In order to actually get the Primal Fear spawn on screen, I actually added it to SBE. If you have SBE, you can do this. I think you can also do this with SkyTills, although I don't know the specific message. You can just go into chat, and then you can see custom chat notifications. And here we have the fear, a Primal Fear has been summoned, and then a little exclamation point. And then I just made it say Primal Fear spawned, and that's added to, custom chat notifications. So you can do that in order to make it a little bit easier to actually spawn them and make sure that you spawn them, because sometimes when you're doing a bunch of stuff, you may not notice one, and then it may get away from you, and then you've wasted your opportunity there. And now we're going to get into the part of the video which I think I might get some criticism for, but regardless, I do want to talk about it. I feel like this event is not great in the FOMO department. We're going to have 8 days to do this event in full, and we're going to have 8 days to get the 600 total dark candy. Now, you can buy this dark candy from the auction house right now, or the bazaar, but it is not cheap. It is selling at 260 to 280,000, fluctuating, of course, probably lower when you watch this video, but that is still quite a bit of money spent on this event. This event, presumably, will be going away in 8 days, and it will not be back, likely, until next year around this time. And I think that's not great for the people who want these items. Now, the only other event kind of like this is the Jerry event, which, comes around only in the month of December. But there is way fewer items associated with the Jerry event when compared to this one. And not to mention, it's already kind of FOMO with the actual Great Spook stuff. I feel like this could be a little bit different. I don't know. My personal thought process here is I think that this specific thing, the Vargle, the Unearthed stuff, could be added as a perk to Foxy, the mayor. So maybe when he has 3 perks that this could be added, and then, it'll be an extra little event going on that you don't have to participate in, but it would be pretty nice. I think it's just, I don't know, a little sad that this stuff is only going to be around once per year. People are going to want to grind this stuff out right now, and the current way the event is set up with the cooldowns and the waiting and the annoying periods between killing the mobs, I don't really think it's super fun as is. I think also the idea that you can just buy your way through this event and just get the items is a little bit pay to win, or at least a little bit more pay to win than we've seen for some other stuff. Obviously, I know that that's a big topic, and I don't like using the word pay to win, but I don't mean win in the sense of, it's going to make you stronger. I mean win the event. Like, by paying money, you can just get coins, which you can use to get the dark candy, and then you win the event. I think they could have made all the dark candies, like, I don't know, soulbound. I feel like if stuff in the Crimson Isle is soulbound, the dark candy should have. This is a little bit of a rant from me. You don't have to agree. I know a lot of you probably won't, but I think this could be added to Foxy, for instance, and I don't think anyone would complain. Just a thing added onto it. Obviously, also, the Black Cat pet will have an upgrade associated with this, so it's not just, like, cosmetic. There's the Scare Fragments, which give you the Talisman, and that gives you XP, and there's the Sleepy Hollow thing, which gives you Farming Fortune, apparently, although I don't know exactly how much. Maybe it's on screen now, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just how the event's been so far. They also made a bunch of changes at the beginning of the event, and I also don't like how you're not able to actually see your fear in your menu anymore. Makes it kind of awkward. I know you can go to the guide to actually view the amount of fear you have, but like, I wish you could just see it in the menus. I don't know why that has to be a thing that was removed. Regardless, I don't think this is bad at all. This is the first time they've tried an event like this, where it's like, not just a passive event, but an active one, and it's part of a holiday. I hope they keep experimenting, even if there are issues that I have with it personally. I think the rewards are cool, I think it's fun enough, and I think it's interesting enough. So I do hope they iterate upon it and maybe, add it into a rotation with Foxy, maybe make it come along every once in a while during the year, I don't know. Even if it was open for, like, a few Skyblock days every year, maybe if it was open for, like, the hour or two that the spooky event is around every year, I would complain way less. I just wish that this was around a little bit more often, because stuff like this is awesome and adds a lot to the game. It adds more things to do. I just wish it was around more often. That's really about it from me. I don't really have too much else to say. Went through the majority of the event. You shouldn't really have any problems grinding. Just get this stuff with the fear on, get the eerie pet on, and go crazy and go nuts and farm. And that's really it. Keep on farming until you get it done, or pay in the shop and go crazy. Use code rail. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. At the end of the day, my name is Derailious. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. And look to the future, fellas, because I will see you then.